Hello there, this is Comm 211 Public Relations Quick Tip number 1. So, what is public relations? That's a difficult question to answer because it covers a wide range of job functions and areas and places that people can work. The real simple definition of what is public relations is public relations is overseeing the two-way communication between an organization and its publics. It's that simple. And it's both simple and complex because the important terms to remember here are two-way. Most people don't think of it as being two-way. They think of it as being public relations is the group that takes what the organization wants you to know, puts it in some pretty words, and sends it out to the masses, right? That's usually all public relations is thought of. In reality, public relations is about two-way communication. It's sort of the middle person between the organization and all of its, notice this is plural, publics. So what do I mean by publics? Isn't there just the public? No. Publics, if you think about it in terms of the audience that public relations is talking to, or the audience the organization is talking to, organizations have a lot of different audiences or publics. You have what we typically think of, a company, let's say it's a company that makes a product, because this makes it really easy to understand. So you would think of their public as being the customers who buy their product. That is one public. There is another public that would be potential customers. There is a public that would be the community that the organization is in. Most companies, if let's say they're building a product, they build a product in a town somewhere. So let's make it real simple. They build it in your hometown. So then the community, your hometown, is a public. So something like, that's really simple. The company doesn't cut their grass. They don't do anything about their landscaping around their building. They put all their money into making their product. And so their building looks like crap in the community. That looks bad to the community as a public, and public relations in a two-way communication would say, we're getting a lot of feedback from the community that we're not taking care of our building. We're not being a responsible citizen of the community. That's a public relations function. Two-way communication, it doesn't just mean out from the organization. It's also monitoring what's being said about the company and feeding that back to the management team or different aspects of the business, like design or manufacturing or advertising or marketing, letting them know, hey, we're hearing this buzz about our product or about our company, and it's something we should probably address. So your public in that aspect becomes the community, or sometimes the public is the owners. Publicly held companies, people own stock and own the company, right? The owners then become a public. And some organizations view their employees as a public. So you have the management team or the upper management, and they have the public of the employees. Public relations is monitoring two-way communications between all of those different publics. So you've got customers, potential customers, the community you're in. You've got the government is another one that you always have to deal with. You have owners, you have employees. Publics are suppliers and vendors and all of that kind of stuff. They all come into play as being publics, and a full operating public relations group watches all of those publics, and it handles communication from the organization out to those publics. But then it's also looking at what those publics are saying about the organization. So it's monitoring social media, and it's monitoring television and radio media, and it's monitoring things you hear out on the street. Maybe you go to public events and you kind of pay attention to what people are saying. Some companies have a big car company, for example, Ford, General Motors. They have people who monitor social media. They have people who monitor radio, television. They have people who monitor car shows, and they just sit back and listen to the buzz of people talking at the car shows. And let's say you work for Ford, and Toyota's got this cool thing going, and Chevy's got this cool thing, and Ford looks like they're falling behind. They pay attention to that kind of feedback, and then they go back to the company and they say, hey, we're getting this feedback that as an organization, we're falling behind our competitors, and we don't have as exciting a product, or we're not meeting a need that the public seems to have that other competitors are having. All of that kind of stuff encompasses public relations. So it's a huge field. And if it's used correctly, can really help an organization stay in touch with its civic responsibilities, its ethic responsibilities, its responsibilities to its customers, its responsibilities to its owners and its employees, and to do all of that in an ethical way, and also keep a common thread going. So, simple definition has a very complex function. And public relations is definitely very complex. As you get into chapter 1, you're going to see just how complicated it actually is. And I'll probably put up a quick tip later on that dives into all of those different functions that public relations covers. Not all organizations cover all of them, and some of it has to do with the value that the organization places on public relations. Some organizations will view public relations as being an equal partner in running the organization. So the head of the public relations firm is on the upper management team that makes all the decisions. But in other organizations, they're underneath marketing, or they're underneath advertising, and they're thought of as a subgroup that handles maybe some small stuff, and they don't get utilized as much as they should. So that comes into play as well. But basically, public relations is overseeing, managing two-way communication between any organization or a person, and its publics. Because I said or a person, it doesn't have to be an organization. We're in the middle of an election cycle. We've got all kinds of candidates running for all kinds of offices. Almost all of those candidates have some form of public relations working for them, so that when they say something that might seem out there, the public relations firm hears, oh, they're talking about you like you're a nut job because of what you just said. What did you actually mean? Let's manage this so that what you intended to say comes out correctly. And so it can be an organization, but it can be an individual as well, and all of their various publics, or all the various groups of people who have an interest in that organization. Hopefully that helps. I'll bring in some more later. I'll see you later. Bye.